Welcome back once again, everyone. Thank you for tuning in again today. And today, my next video will be on the NECA Real Toys T-800 Cyberdyne Showdown Terminator from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Now, if you don't know me, I am a huge Terminator fan. I'm a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. Best governor California has had in decades. Best, big, badass, macho actor. 80s kick-ass star, fighting Predator, gone commando, and he was even a cybernetic organism. Now, when NECA did start coming out with these figures, I believe I was just too young to actually know, about NECA, know about collecting, because I wasn't into collecting back then. So it has taken me quite some time to actually get these figures, and this is actually my first Terminator figure from NECA. I do have the McFarlane version from Terminator 3 when he comes out with the casket from the cemetery, but that's a whole nother story, and basically the balancing is so bad he just always falls over and the casket is too big for the body. Anyway, today we'll be focusing on this T-800 from NECA, and right away I just love the packaging. It's very simple. It has the badass image of Arnold on the motorcycle. Has the full figure, and as you can see, the Cyberdyne Showdown is when he goes to the window, the broken windows, with all the SWAT teams and officers waiting outside, and with the minigun just blows shit up. And he doesn't kill anyone because that's not his primary objective, but he just blows all the cars, he scares away the helicopter, and it is one of my favorite scenes from all the Terminator movies. One thing I wish they did portrayed the image over here as this scene. I know they want to keep it to the actual movie, but I think it would have been cool if they actually put in an image from that scene, him holding the minigun and whatnot. But still a badass image, hopefully a badass figure. Let's turn it around and see what's on the back side. So the back, it does show the figure itself holding the minigun, if you can see that through the glare. Sorry about that. And then a small description of the Terminator and the scene, and if you want to pause that to read it, as well as some upcoming figures. Well, I know this is an older figure, but at that time the figures in the wave, which include the endoskeleton, the man or machine when he cuts off the skin of his arm, the Pescadero escape, and the final battle, which I hope to eventually have all these figures. And you know what, since we're on top of it, I actually don't see a year on this. I was just wondering when these figures actually came out. Of course, I can do my research on it, but it's no big deal. Just curious to see how late I am in the game about this. And without further ado, let's open up Arnie and check out the figure itself. Welcome back, and we have opened up Arnie from his package, and let's take a closer look at this figure. So, doing a little pre-investigation before the review, I noticed that this does not have that much articulation, which I didn't realize the older NECA figures, and actually, now that I recall, they didn't have as much articulation, and they kind of felt more like the McFarlanes, how they make their figures today. Just a very basic, but at least this one has a decent amount of articulation throughout the torso, the arms, the legs, enough to get him to pose in a decent style of pose. And as you can see, he very much looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know a lot of times the Arnold figures, or just any human-like figure, they either distort the face, they give him ridiculous facial hair, or the facial hair is an odd color, and even the hair. But this one, it really looks like Arnie. Let's take a closer look at him here. You can see he's giving the very stern look. You can see the wrinkles around the eyes and the forehead, the lips and the chin. Let me see if I can get that focused. There we go. Let's see how close I can get as well. Here we go. So it really does look a lot like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not too familiar with NECA, whether they scan the actor's face and head, or whether they just have master artists and sculptors who can get the look. But this is a fantastic job, and oops, let me make sure he doesn't fall over here. Speaking of the articulation, that is one of the small difficulties with it, because you can't pose the legs too much. You can't really get all the perfect balancing, depending how you have like the gun sack, or the ammo sack I should say, and the minigun. But let's take a closer look at the accessories actually. So as you can see, I have his minigun in hands, as he was in Terminator 2 when all the police and SWAT team showed up. And it's a little bit difficult to get it in hand first, just because the hands are so closed. But you know, a little bit prying open the fingers and you can get him to fit. And I mean, it's a perfect stance, you know, nothing too crazy to deal with. Let me just get that off here. Take that off. Come on, try not to break anything there. Slide out the turret, or the trigger I should say, if I can get that without breaking it off. And come on. It feels a lot more fragile than it is. I don't want to you know, test it or anything, but you know, it doesn't seem like it'll just break off too bad. But there are some thin parts here. Let me get that into focus now. So hopefully you all can see that a little bit closer and a little bit better. So as you can see, the minigun is a little bit distorted here. You know, the package was okay, so I don't think it was from shipping or any of the packaging dilemmas. But you know, it looks good. I'll try to get that best focus as I can. And as you can see the bullets just trailing out into a long, actually a pretty long trail that goes into the duffel bag that carries all the ammunition. There we go. And then like I had him, this strap, I just kind of have it on his shoulder. I don't know exactly how you're supposed to do it, but it also comes with his grenade or smoke launcher, which, you know, I love him using this weapon. And does this go up? Nope. Okay, don't want to break that then. But yeah, it's, you know, a very decent figure, and it's a little bit bent, but no big deal. You can really see the wood paint on here. I know the lighting is kind of off. It's early morning, so I'm trying to get my kitchen lights as well as the daylight to get the best lighting in here. So hopefully you all can see that, and if I can get that focused a little bit more. There we go. So, you know, it's a very nice resemblance to the actual gun in the movie. Now getting back to Arnie. Oop, his hands are a little bit distorted right there. As you can see, he does come with all the ammunition on his around his shoulders, and this does it come off? I think you can take it off, but I'm not, you know, I'm not going to. I don't really need to. It works just perfectly fine, and he basically wore it the entire Cyberdyne Showdown anyway. So getting into the articulation, the head does turn, you know, a little bit stiff, but you know, does go back and forth as well. The right arm out and in, goes up, back. The elbow twists, and also the joint right there. Ooh, I just kind of made it loose, but it's okay. And then the wrists are really loose, but you know, not too much to worry about. The left arm, all the same thing. Then you have waist rotation right there. And then the legs are where there are really no articulation. This foot kind of has a small pivot in a way. It doesn't stay too much. There we go, if you really twist it. And then the left leg, about halfway up the waist, you know, got full rotation there. And then at the calf also, and as well as the foot down here. So I guess you're mainly supposed to play around with this leg to get it to pose. But you know, it's not a big deal. It does pose very well. It has good balance, so nothing to complain about there. And getting a closer look at his full suit, you can see all the bullet holes through the jacket in the front. Some more on this side, some in the arm. And as well, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't notice they had him going out, or actually going into the back as well. So you can really see he's getting shot up from both sides of his body. Nothing too much in the legs. Overall, I'm very impressed with the paint and molding of the jacket and the clothing. They did a very good job implying the wrinkles and the creases, and actually making it look like he's a moving character. And you can see here, the sleeves are kind of detached, so you can have rotation at the arms, but it's still, you know, it all blends very well and works together, so it doesn't, you know, just look like he's wearing a vest. It actually looks like he has the jacket on. And you can kind of open it up to see, you know, more of his inner shirt, and you can see more of the creases there. Going back to the head, you know, the hair, they did a great job. I know a lot of times Arnie's hair is a little bit difficult to capture, but they did a great job there. He basically comes with two trigger fingers or in a way, because the one finger, you know, it's more of a trigger finger. The other one, it's kind of to help grab the minigun, I guess, if you want to say. And then going down to the legs, you know, even with the dark, essentially the dark jeans and dark jacket, you can see all the green hues and a little bit of gray as well. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera, but in person you can see a lot of silver and green right there, some green off the lighting here, and even in the jacket going back to the top. And then just his boots. So there we have it, folks, one of my very first Arnold Schwarzenegger or Terminator figures. Thank you to NECA to not having me become disappointed like McFarlane did with their casket Terminator from Terminator 3. But I'm very happy with this. Thank you, NECA, and I hope to expand my Terminator collection with that. And thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.